Since the early 19th century, when industry became the new American religion, hundreds of thousands of immigrants from Central and Eastern Europe set sail for America, chasing dreams of a better life, free from poverty and war. New York was the most important gateway to this brave new world. For the next 200 years, the wave of migration never ceased. If you could make it in New York, you could make it anywhere. Join us as we explore the stories of Polish immigrants who shaped the city and found their place in its ever-evolving landscape. Watch the Polish Tales.
This is my little girl, Jaja. She was born in the Midwest. She came to New York from Illinois, but we got her during the pandemic. She came to our house when she was 8 weeks old. She's wonderful. She's trained a service dog. She can recognize high sugar level on diabetic people, so she serves my husband. He's diabetic. I knew that I'm stepping into something very new. And I was a little bit terrified because I didn't speak any English at that time. It was late May, so I experienced thermic shock. Weather was really strange and different. Humidity, heat, no air conditioner in my mom's apartment. It was really tough. I went to Manhattan with my brother. We knew that next door, couple of stops on the train, on a PATH train, there is Manhattan. I didn't have greater knowledge of Manhattan, but because of magnetism of that name, we knew that this is the first destination. We have to go into the city. We had no idea where to go. We just took the train, we get off in Greenwich Village, and we just walked down Broadway. And my brother was really kind of turned on about fashion and all these women exposing their bodies and almost like half naked. It was like beautiful spring, hot, nice warm day. I was really impressed with colorful crowd. I saw two guys, two kind of like bears holding hands. And this changed me a lot, because this was realization that I am not alone on this planet. Literally, I realized that, whoa, there is nothing wrong with me, because I realized that this is it. This is how people live here. It took me 7 years actually here to be ready to go back to school. My first couple of years I did all kind of work. From construction work to some kind of, working in garment district, as some kind of helper. And interestingly enough, I always improved my being by favors of other people. When I found a job in garment district by recommendation of friend, one of the secretary from this company, who was a wedding dress business, approached me, and even though my English wasn't so good, she approached me and said, "Peter, listen, you are too young to do this. What would you like to do in your life?" And I told her in my broken English, I was here maybe for like year and a half. I said, well, I would like to be a filmmaker. And she looked at me and said, listen, I have a friend, his name is Larry. We went to school together. We grew up in the same neighborhood. He's the head of the studio here in the city. Call him and tell him that I gave you his name and his phone number. I called him. 2 days later, I was hired to work in the film studio as the guy who was pulling equipment to stages. And that's how I started connecting with people. And that helped me to get involved and have access to equipment. And with some friends, I started working and making my own short films on 60mm black and white film, with group of friends, I was working on their films. They were working on mine. And that's how I started this whole story with filmmaking. I think it was 1999 when finally I had enough savings and I realized that I probably will be able to start my college. It took me about 5 years to complete 4-year college because even though I was ready, I still needed to work. And then after my bachelor degree, I was accepted to film school for my master degree because I decided to continue my education in filmmaking. And that's how I met Andrzej Krakowski. I was there preparing for my thesis, and Andrzej was my mentor for a couple of years. He suggested that we should make a short film. This was the first year of that study. So we created this film called 6 a.m. And amazingly, the film went throughout like all these festivals, and it was accepted to some kind of like Oscar qualification. It went through all this like layers, and we won student Oscar. Academy invited us to LA, and the whole crew went there, and we had this student Oscar presented to us by Kevin Smith, I remember. I have to say, great thing about being in New York and about discovering how everything functioned here was that with being here, I realized that I am experiencing quite personal transformation. What I mean by that is I start expanding my horizons big time. What was good was that I started realizing that I have to count on myself. I have to realize what does it mean not to feel strong in group, but to feel good about yourself, and to start realizing that I have to really change the way I was thinking. And I also realized that this society is very individualistic. And that was a great realization. Among with other things such as coexistence, open-mindedness, progressiveness of the city, I was exposed to all of them. I am still working in film because film is my passion. I do mostly produce. I just help producing a film that is circling film festival. It's called Elijah. It's a very interesting flick about transgender Bengali person, directed by the very talented director from Bangladesh, Razid Sizan. So I do try to stay connected with film, but I work as a certified interpreter and translator. I work almost full-time in a couple of oncologic hospitals, helping Polish patients. And I have to say it's an extremely rewarding job because it's oncology. I am helping people who are diagnosed with horrible diseases. I'm building bridge between them and the doctors, and that's very rewarding. Also, I do help many families from Poland who are seeking help in New York hospitals for their kids. And I am talking about people who raise money in Poland to help their children with such diseases as neuroblastoma or retinoblastoma, which in Polish is called siatkówczak. There are dozens of families with their kids here treating their kids, and I'm helping them with building that communication bridge, and that's extremely rewarding experience. I wish I knew earlier how to be less sensitive, meaning how to turn failure into something that can make you stronger. That's something that many artists suffer with. When you film criticism, the words can hurt you. Like Niemen wrote in his book, the words can hurt you like a knife. And I think I didn't have anybody who will explain it to me, that, I really have to be kind of like tough and not to think about criticism as, something that can change you, defeat you. I wish I knew that, because with a certain time when I apply for certain jobs, as a creative director or this and that, after rejection, it really I wasn't able to to went back and to do it again, because I felt like, well, I'm not good enough. That's it, and I realized that I was wrong, and my attitude and my approach was wrong, but it was years later, But that would be my big regret, to learn how to stand up after a failure.